Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Rangaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Elliot Srila Sandra Elliot Srila Sandra Elliot Srila Sandra Elliot Sri Sri Guru Bhagavad Elliot Sri Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimad Bhaktivinoda Swami Namaste Saraswati Krishna Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Dayam Mudiraye Nastatvaye Svabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of God in Narayan, unto Nara Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto the goddess of learning, Mother Saraswati, and unto the author Srila Vyasadeva, by regularly attending lectures on the Srimad Bhagavatam, by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart, is almost completely destroyed, and loving devotional service, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is praised in transcendental slokas, is established as an irrevocable fact. They are reading from text 34 of the 6th canto, 2nd chapter, Atimil delivered by the Vishnu Dutans.
Den blev sat ind i går, så den ikke blev sat ud. Nu over det.
Ja, så jeg læser bare det, så vi læser. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Kva cha aham kitava bhava ramatna nirapatatpra kva cha narayana iti etat bhagavat nama mangalam Vajam kitavo bhavo brahmano nirapatrapa Vajanarayana jitta bhagavan nama mangalam. So please repeat. Qua, where? Cha, also. Aham, I. Kitava, achieve. Papa, all sins personified. Brahmana, the killer of my Brahminical culture. Nirapatapa, shameless. Kva, where? Cha, also. Narayana, iti, thus. Etat, this. Bhagavat Nama. Any suggestions?
The name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Mangalam, auspicious.
all auspicious.
Translation. Ajamil continued, I am a shameless cheater who has killed his Brahminical culture. Indeed, I am sin personified. Where am I in comparison to the all-auspicious chanting of the holy name of Lord Narayana? Purport. Those engaged in broadcasting the holy name of Narayana, Krishna, through the Krishna conscious movement, should always consider that our position, what our position was before, became and what it is now. We had fallen into abominable lives as meat-eaters, drunkards, and woman-hunters, who performed all kinds of sinful activities. But now we have been given the opportunity to chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Therefore, we should always appreciate this opportunity. By the grace of the Lord, we are opening many branches, and we should use this good fortune to chant the holy name of the Lord and serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly. We must be conscious of the difference between our present and past conditions, and should always be very careful not to fall from the most exalted life. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pucharine Nivishesha Shunyavadasya Chari Sutravine Vanchakalvatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvyevacha Patitanam Bhavyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaura Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vachaham kitavo bhavo brahmatmo nirapatrabha Kvanachanarayane yetat bhagavan nama mangalam. Ajamil continued, I am a shameless cheater who has killed his Brahminical culture. Indeed, I am sin personified. Where am I in comparison to the all-auspicious chanting of the holy name of Lord Narayana? So Ajamil is here reflecting. Oh, is it Danish? No, French. So Ajamil is here reflecting on his past life. He's been doing some heinous acts, as most of us have. And now he's reaping the result by experiencing bad conscience, by being shameful. So I'm saying here, I'm very shameful, because I understand what kind of rascal I was. So, I think I can speak from all of us. We've been doing some very strange things before we came to Krishna consciousness. That is definitely not within the frame of the Vedic culture or Vedic wisdom. But now, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we've been giving some insight into what is human life. So this is Ajamil's realization, and this is our realization. I think I mentioned it yesterday also, that this very much, this story of Ajamil, very much reflect or is appropriate for our state of mind. Because we were in the same condition. Actually, I think I was worse than Ajamil. At least he saw a prostitute, but at least he got married. But see what people are doing out there now. They're just having sex like cats and dogs. They don't even consider marriage. They just go to a discotheque. And then they sit there and watch while they're drinking their alcohol, sitting there and watch, okay, who will I hunt down today? And then, no, it will just be a one-night show. It'll just be, you have some fun together and that's it. So that's extremely sinful. At least Ajamil, he took the consequence. He said, okay, I'm in this situation, I'm lusty towards this woman, prostitute. I don't know if it's necessarily that she's directly selling herself like that. But anyway, whatever the case, he fell down with this woman. But he got married and he got children and he was living in some kind of ashram. Of course he was living a sinful life. But compared to what people are living today, it's nothing, really. He would almost be considered a saint in the present age. So, but still, Yamadutas came. The messengers of death, these horrible-looking creatures, came and was about to bring him to hell. So most people, that's their destination. Their destination is going towards hell. They're living in a hellish condition. Perhaps even London is hell. So just living in this part of the world in Kali Yuga is hell. But even more the way they are living. One thing is the external circumstance, but more is the internal circumstance. What is going on in people's mind, how they are living, that is hellish. So we know the worst problems in today's society is not the external, it's more the internal. WHO says that in this age it's more, the problems is more within, it's the mind. Before there were problems outside, like you get cancer or your child is hurt in a traffic accident or car accident or terrible things. But today, according to the mundane experts, it is within. It's all going on in the mind. The worst thing is in the mind. So everybody's living in hell, but within. So if it's hell externally, at least you can easily work with it somehow. You can see it, it's like, okay, this is my problem. But when it's within, it makes people crazy, because that's what it means. So the mind just goes completely crazy, and then we have people killing themselves left and right. 2 suicides a day in Denmark. That's actually a long time since I heard that statistic. Maybe it's increased. And the whole thing with pills and all that, I'll not get into it. But people are suffering. People are suffering terribly due to their own past misdeeds. But the cure is there. And this is what Ajamil is saying here. I did nothing to deserve chanting the holy names of the Lord. I have no purity like that. How can that mercy just become bestowed upon me like this? What kind of mercy is that? So he's longing to see the Vishnudutas again. And after this episode, he's living a very, very Krishna-conscious life. I think he will move to Hardwar. And there he will move into a temple. He will become, I don't know, brahmachari. At least he will move into the temple and live there and serve menially. Serve Krishna. And by that activity, Krishna will come, the Vishnudutas will come back. He will have darshan again, these great personalities. And then they will come in these golden airplanes and say, okay, we're going home now. No more suffering in this place. That's also our destination. Imagine this. One day, we will wake up and be in death. And then we will see the Vishnudutas coming in a gold airplane and saying, hey, please come aboard. After they offered their obeisances. We hear even death, with the whole story with Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj wasn't this. Also he got some inclination. He was a very pure personality, but he had to have a little push. So Krishna arranged that he got this dead mother that completely neglected him, and even had his father neglected him. So Dhruva Maharaj ended up being Kshatriya, ended up being extremely angry. And he went to his mother crying and said, what should I do? And she said, oh, I know, like the sages go to the forest, or they find Krishna in the forest. And she said, there's nothing I can do. Because it's true what you're saying. I'm just a menial servant to your father. He has another life. That is more. So Dhruva Maharaj, he did that. He went to the forest and he performed chanting Om Namo Narayana, performing the sadhana was given by Narada Muni. And by doing this, Vishnu himself came. And there, when the Vishnudutas came and he was about to enter the Vaikuntha airplane, who came? Yamaraj came. Death personified came and bowed down to him. And said he even stepped, I can't even understand, he stepped upon him because he's a Mahatma. But he used him as a step to get into the airplane. Maybe it's to be understood symbolically. I don't know. But because death becomes the servant of the devotee. All the demigods becomes the servant of the devotee. The Vishnu Dutas become the servant of the devotee. Krishna says, I become a servant of my devotee. How's this verse Vidura is playing? That he's saying, there's no one as dear to me as a devotee. There's no one as dear to me as my devotee. He says to Vidura. He says, no one is as dear to me as you. Not even Brahma. Arjuna mentioned. He says, not even Brahma. Not even Lakshman. That is an expansion of Krishna himself. And not even my own self in the form of the deity. You know, Krishna is not different from the deity. So none of these personalities are as dear to me as you are. Uddhava, sorry. I said Uddhava. No one is as dear as you are, Uddhava, because you are such a surrendered soul. So that's the nature of Krishna's love. That when you see a person surrenders to him, as he promised all over Bhagavad Gita, then he takes completely care of him. Why? Because he is in complete love with that person. And that's the nature of, the spiritual energy. Is everything there is built on pure love. There's no envy there, there's no harshness, like the harshness of speech we hear so often. There's all these things, everything is very soft because it's built on prema. So Krishna, he constantly has that kind of feeling, naturally. Constantly have that feeling of affection and love. He cannot not have that feeling. He cannot not have that feeling. That's the nature of spirit. Feeling this compassion, feeling this love towards all living entities. So that's what devotees are trying to emulate, trying to get to that real original position of being in love of everyone. Everyone you see, how can I help this person? How can I give this person just a little mercy, whatever he can take in his current level? Well, how can I connect him to Krishna? How can I make him fortunate like Arjuna? How can I make him fortunate like myself? What can I do to help this person progress? And again, Krishna says, if you're living like this, you're speaking in the house program, and Krishna says, one who preaches this knowledge to my devotee is most dear to me. There will never be a person more dear to me. So in one sense, everyone is a devotee. Because again, we're speaking about the soul. The soul is, of course, by nature a devotee. So whoever we are preaching to, we are actually in one sense preaching to a devotee. Or we are preaching to a coming devotee. So in one sense, we can see, we were there a few years ago. We were there in the material entanglement. But somebody preached to us. Either directly or indirectly through a book or some prasadam, but somebody preached to us. And then we came to the temple and someone else preached to us. And then we stayed in the temple and someone else preached to us. So many are preaching to us. And this preaching made us what we are now. That put us in a situation where we would actually make progress. And then gradually the dust is removed from the heart. And then naturally the love awakens. Naturally the love awakens. And the consequence of that, or the proof of that, is that we naturally have a desire, a longing desire, a great desire, burning desire to give it to others. Naturally. Not only because it makes us dear to Krishna, but simply out of compassion. I can just by giving this person a book, I can just by walking around in a doji, and people say, oh, there's one of these Hare Krishna. That alone is preaching. So naturally, one is constantly thinking, as you said yesterday during Prasada, the symptoms of an Uttamayikaya. It's not that he's always out there in the sky. It is head in the sky. How you can see it is he's constantly engaged. You get this compassion. He's constantly engaged in serving the devotees, and all kinds of devotees. even the materialistic, Prakriti Bhaktas. Because that's the symptom, because you see, I've been given this. I've been given this great mercy by my spiritual master, by all my spiritual masters. And now I can give it to others. So that's what makes, that we can go out and we can make people fortunate. Now they're extremely unfortunate. They're in a very, very precarious situation. Very dangerous situation. Very dangerous situation. And they're going towards hell. They're going towards hell. But just by reminding them, hey, you remember this? Once you were in love with this great personality, maybe you should try to revive that. So then gradually we counteract the sinful activities as Caitanya was doing. It says, Narada Muni speaks to Yudhishthira, or else in the end of 2nd canto, where it says all these sinful activities, how they can be counteracted. Asankapash karma. That lust can be counteracted by determination. Karma krodha jayat. It's karma krodha. That lust can be, or anger, when you conquer lust, you conquer anger. As we know from Bhagavad Gita. And arthanataksaya, lobha, and greed can be counteracted, can be conquered by discussing the disadvantage of wealth. So what is the disadvantage of wealth?
Avarice, like you never become satisfied, really.
That's one thing, greed. That's the nature of greed, you never become satisfied. It's constantly, it's burning treasures, it's burning like fire. It's burning like energy.
The problem with wealth is that you try to enjoy it.
You try to enjoy it, yeah, and what is the consequence of that? Gloop. Yeah, ultimately gloop maybe, but at least suffering, maybe it ends up in suffering. You create karma for yourself.
You need to maintain and protect it, and it's great difficulty.
A lot of entanglement. Naturally you get entangled. You cannot not get entangled. And you get too much help.
Other people want it.
Other people want it. They become envious. And that's why we hear, like when Parikshit Maharaj, when he met the Bull, maybe I mentioned this before, but it's a very nice example, he given these 4 places. And then there's not enough, where the principles are broken. But then he gave him this one more, where there's too much wealth. Where there's hoarding of gold. It's not where there's gold, there's nothing wrong with wealth. Because we can use anything for Krishna. And Prabhupada says we can use, a person comes and gives a donation, Prabhupada says, please give us more. So we can use unlimited wealth. But if it's not completely centered around using it for Krishna, it creates all these problems you're mentioning now. So by utilizing it, but here by just discussing the disadvantages, one comes to the realization that if I get too much of this, I'll most likely become entangled. People will become envious of me. All these problems follows. And still it's what everyone is looking for. Everyone is running so fast, going for a lot of austerity to attain it. Wealth is today's God. Money is God. At least nothing is worshipped as much as money in today's society. And that's again connected to a woman, to a prostitute. Because why do we want money? It's not the money themselves. It's the thing they can buy with money. Ultimately sex life. So everyone is a prostitute practically because they're buying it. They're buying it. Buying a big fancy car, that's most likely a men's approach. Buying a big fancy car. Why? To attract the opposite sex. And women going, you see them in the walking streets. They're always walking into these shops where they sell clothes. So they go in there, they use their wealth to buy all these fancy clothes. Why?